Interim President Diankounda Traoré, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, and defense ministers from 13 African countries were prominent among the guests of honor this July 14th. President François Hollande drew strong support from the French for this intervention in Mali, an exception in the current economic crisis.
What happened in Mali was a victory for Africa and against terrorism. And it was about pride. We can be proud as well. I was praised in Africa not for what I did, but for my decision. It was French soldiers who did the job.
The parade also highlighted Franco-Malian friendship, though there was criticism of the presence of Colonel Dao leading the Malian battalion. Several NGOs have confirmed that the commanding officer of the Gourma military zone has been named by witnesses as having committed violent acts against nomad peoples of the region. One human rights association was also angered by the presence of Chadian troops in the parade at a time when Chadian President Idriss Déby is taking advantage of his role in Mali to crack down on opponents at home. France also wanted to highlight the capacity of its military in taking back the north of Mali and the role it continues to play on the international scene.
The political landscape in Egypt's new government is rapidly shifting. Muslim Brotherhood supporters continue to demand the return of ousted President Mohamed Morsi. CNN's Nick Patton-Wells is in the Egyptian capital Cairo, and he reports there is no political reconciliation between the two sides in the offing just yet.
This protest may not know where its leader is or what happens next, but it isn't going anywhere. In the fierce heat of the Ramadan fast, protest simmers at the ousting of President Morsi by Egypt's generals in a fast-filled community where everything has a political message. Ayman Shaheen travelled 80 kilometres to be part of this and says he'll live here until victory. The barricades have grown, staggered along key roads. They roam past the defence ministry before the army's new lines. Soldiers facing calm Islamists in a country split. One reading the Quran, another not. Days ago, over 50 were shot dead nearby. Their shoes a reminder of the violence that could return. Well, the numbers of protesters may ebb and flow, but this barricade has taken on an almost permanent nature in the last 24 hours. And given that it sits here on this vital route near government buildings, the key question is how long will the army let this standoff endure? Washington wants the army's politically motivated arrests to stop, but here the men they want move freely, sheltered by their supporters. Why don't you tell them to go home for their own sakes? They are no longer affected by the fear of being killed or arrested, he says. These people are not Muslim brothers. These millions have taken stand on principle. They will either live under the umbrella of a civilian democratic nation or they'll take their last breaths. They will not accept in any way this military rule. Outside, a man in a conspicuous smart suit is suddenly chased by protesters. They try to beat him, saying he's an army spy. They won't let us film, and it's unclear what happens to the man. Bad man. The calm and civility evaporates briefly, but fast.
We now take our second break. And over now to sports presentation. Girls for Vocational Training School are the champions of the Female Cricket Championship for Schools. Presentation won the maiden edition, beating Muslim Senior School in the final by 6 runs. The champions, who batted first, set a target of 67 runs, and in reply Muslim scored 61 runs. MS Jallo watched the final and he reports.
Presentation. Girls for Vocational Training School have won the first female cricket championship for schools, beating Muslim Senior Secondary School by 6 runs in a thrilling match at the KG5 grounds in Banjul. The champions came into the final as best losers after being defeated in the semi-finals, but this time there were no pushovers against Muslim Senior Secondary School. The Muslims girls won the toss, but chose the presentation girls to bat first. Presentation managed to set a target of 67 runs, with Mary Mendy, their highest scorer, netting a total of 25 runs. Muslim Senior Secondary School, chasing 67 runs, made a cautious start. In reply, Muslim fought hard, but even the efforts of their top scorer, Hadi Wali, could not save the day for her school. The quest to reach the target set by Presentation School was greatly helped by Maria Massano, who also scored 2 runs. In the end, Muslim Senior Secondary School finished with 61 runs, 6 runs short of the target set by their opponents, eventually crowning Presentation champions of the maiden edition of the school's Female Cricket Championship. The final of the first Female Cricket Championship is the end product of a short-term project by the Gambia Cricket Association to encourage female participation in the game, which is male-dominated.
It has been a hectic process, but finally, as you have witnessed, everything has come to the ending, and it's been a successful one.
And how impressed are you with the performance of the girls?
I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed with the way they perform and their display of talent.
The president of the Gambia Cricket Association, this championship formed part of his association-wide range of grassroots projects aimed at building a solid foundation for Gambian cricket.
So the structure now is there, the schools have the cricket team, and what we're hearing is that they're trying to get, even they'll be playing inter-house cricket in their schools, which is a good plus for us. So, I mean, give us 3 or 5 years cricket in the Gambia for girls, it's going to go a long way, man. It's going to go a long way. We're very happy with it.
For the aspiring cricketers, it gives them real fun playing the game and are delighted to be part of the history of Gambian cricket. Why do you like cricket?
Because it's a new game and it's a civilized game also. And we love it very well and we know that we can do it. That's why.
We'll try our level best to be the Gambia female team. Yes, for the first Gambia female team.
And we are very happy, and we want to thank the coaches who are helping us during our training.
Cricket might not be on the same level with the likes of football, but grassroots development like this one paints a bright future for Gambian cricket. Modes Jallo, Grts Sports.
Interesting. And before we go, a reminder of our headline-making stories once again. The Office of the President has lifted restrictions on the trading of the US dollar and repealed its prescribed exchange rate whilst urging traders to eschew hoarding and speculation. Thousands of day-old checks up for grabs in the North Bank region as a new livestock and horticulture development program is beginning to bear fruit. Front has celebrated its annual Bastille Military Parade at a grand ceremony in Paris attended by several African armies. And supporters of our state President Mohamed Morsi have continued their sit-in in Cairo. This as the transitional government is slowly taking shape. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Stay tuned and enjoy Grts.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته بعد من بنتي بكان الكلام تنلقو ألبي جارتيس تلفزيون الجيبي كان النال بعد مالون فامركاني بدون نبرنامج من تولن إمام وقتنا إمامي سورة كونرو نمني كما بفلا إمامو لكشا nin programme nak ngalon le pour ka ñu sunkaro la ko xam ka taman kata jamol to nim banko kan danka almamul min yalon ko imeta salendiro la ke je ke nin ka sunkaro na fal min be hadama de mole je anin dunbe kafarol min hadama de mol seke no sunkaro ko bidun na taman ay sambanan dem fo supreme islamic council ila jaman bat jamo me alon ko birin council ka jamo ni be jang